The bison, that remembers thunder. At dawn, the prairie looks innocent. Silver grass bends softly, the horizon glows pale gold, and then the camera finds them. Hoofprints, hundreds of them, perfectly aligned, impossibly calm, as if the earth itself had rehearsed their arrival. Yet there is only one American bison in sight. One mountain of muscle and wool, standing motionless in the mist, staring at nothing, or perhaps at something we are too late to see. American bison are known to migrate vast distances, often moving with astonishing consistency across seasons. Some Yellowstone herds travel extraordinary yearly routes that seem almost mathematically precise. But this one seems different. Its trail loops back on itself in spirals, like a thought it cannot let go. And somehow, the funniest detail is that this titan of the plains pauses dramatically to sneeze dust all over its own face, looking less like an ancient beast and more like a professor who lost a fight with chalk powder. The mystery begins with a question. Why does one animal leave the memory of a herd? Every few hours, the bison collapses into the soil and rolls with almost theatrical devotion. This behavior is real. Scientists call it wallowing, a habit used for cooling, insect defense, and social signaling. But in the language of mystery, it feels stranger. Each wallow becomes a crater, a dark circle stamped into the prairie, as if the land is being marked by punctuation. A sentence written by weight, a grammar of survival. Seeds collect there, rain gathers there, life begins there. The shocking truth is that the bison is not merely living in the ecosystem, it edits it. The humor arrives in the sheer contrast. This regal beast, symbol of lost continents and vanished ages, repeatedly throws itself into dirt like an overexcited dog discovering a clean carpet. Yet the elegance lies in what follows. Birds gather near the disturbed soil. New grass emerges brighter. The wallow becomes a clue. The bison's mess is the prairie's secret architecture. Most grazers chase fresh spring grass. They follow the green wave northward, consuming the youngest shoots. But bison do something almost unsettling. They let the wave pass, then return and graze the same places with obsessive precision, forcing the plants to regrow in nutrient-rich cycles. It is the ecological equivalent of knowing tomorrow's answer before the question is asked. Our lone bison seems to know exactly where the sweetest grass will exist days before it appears. How? Instinct, memory, or something darker, a biological echo millions of hoofbeats old. The amusing image here is impossible to resist. Imagine the prairie as an all-you-can-eat buffet, and the bison as the one mysterious guest who somehow knows when the kitchen refills the best tray before anyone else. Funny, yes, but also eerie. It moves as if the land whispers schedules into its fur. Then comes the emotional fracture. Beside the giant appears a calf, glowing reddish-brown against the darker adults, almost ember-bright in the twilight. This is natural for young bison. Their calves are often born with a rusty coat before darkening with age. Yet on screen it feels like a visual omen, a moving coal crossing an ocean of grass. The calf mirrors the elder's path exactly, stepping into old hoofprints with unnerving accuracy. Is it learning or inheriting a root older than memory? The humor softens the tension. The tiny calf tries to mimic the adult's majestic dust roll and instead tumbles sideways like an actor missing the choreography cue. It is adorable, absurd, and deeply revealing. Mystery is not always horror. Sometimes it is inheritance wearing a comic expression. A mature bull's bellow can carry for kilometers, a sound compared to a lion's roar. But the most haunting part is not the roar. It is the silence before it. Our bison stops on a ridge beneath gathering storm clouds. The wind stills, grass bows, even insects seem to hesitate. Then the call erupts, deep and resonant, like thunder discovering a voice. It is not aggression, it is announcement, presence, proof that the prairie is still listening. And then, almost comically, a tiny bird lands on its back mid-performance, turning this monumental declaration into the wildlife equivalent of a solemn speech interrupted by someone's pet pigeon. The contrast is irresistible, grandeur and ridiculousness, fused in one unforgettable image. The final revelation is the darkest and most addictive. The bison's path is not random. It connects ancient wallows, feeding scars, and migration corridors into a hidden map across the plains. A geography of memory. Long before fences, roads, or names, these routes shaped North America itself. Millions once moved this way, changing soil, plants, and entire ecosystems. Our lone bison is not lost. It is preserving an invisible manuscript written by generations. The shocking mystery is not what the animal remembers. It is that the land still remembers with it. And the final humorous sting is beautifully human. After all this grandeur, after decoding a continent-sized secret, the bison ends the scene by scratching its horn against a crooked tree with the satisfaction of someone finally finding the perfect back scratch. Mystery solved. Majesty remains. The map lives on. Winter arrives like a locked room mystery. The prairie is sealed in white, every trail erased, every clue buried. And yet the bison keeps moving. Its massive head swings from side to side, sweeping snow away like a living plow, uncovering the hidden grass beneath. This is real behavior, one of the species' most astonishing cold weather adaptations. But in the logic of this story, it feels almost supernatural, as if the animal can read what the snow is trying to hide. Each cleared patch becomes another piece of the invisible map. The emotional jolt comes when the camera reveals a perfect line of feeding marks beneath the storm, like a secret sentence written under blank paper. Then the humor slips in. For all its ancient dignity, the bison emerges with snow piled across its beard like an elderly philosopher who forgot to wipe powdered sugar from his face. Majestic, absurd, unforgettable. The prairie is silent, but the ground is still speaking. Until now, the mystery belonged to one animal. Then dusk changes everything. Shapes begin to rise from the horizon. First one, then three, then dozens. A herd, not emerging from behind hills, but from the visual illusion of the prairie itself, their dark bodies blending so perfectly into the storm-stained land that they seem to materialize out of memory. Bison often travel in fluid social groups, females and calves together, bulls apart, merging and separating with the seasons. Yet here, the arrival feels like a revelation. The lone mapkeeper was never alone. It was the signal. The emotional pull deepens as every member of the herd falls into a line, each hoof entering the depression of the one before it, like a procession repeating an ancient code. And then, one young bison suddenly breaks formation to leap sideways into a drift, landing in a puff of snow like an oversized puppy that forgot this was supposed to be a solemn documentary. The humor makes the mystery sharper. Even chaos seems rehearsed. The trail leads to a crooked tree standing alone in the open plain, bark polished smooth at shoulder height. The bison approaches with eerie certainty and rubs against it, leaving thick strands of winter fur hanging from the wood. This behavior is natural, helping loosen the seasonal coat as spring approaches. But visually, it feels like evidence left at a crime scene. The tree is covered in dark fibers from years of passing giants, a biological archive suspended in branches. Each strand is a fragment of a vanished winter, a physical record of every season survived. The emotional tension comes from the realization that this single tree has been visited for generations. It is not just a tree. It is a checkpoint in the map. The humor arrives when the mighty bull closes its eyes in obvious satisfaction, leaning so hard into the bark that it looks suspiciously like someone at a luxury spa. Discovering the perfect massage chair. Elegant mystery, with just enough ridiculous comfort to make it human. If you enjoyed uncovering these amazing animal secrets, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all our future videos. Don't forget to click the bell icon, so you'll never miss out on more fascinating stories from the animal kingdom. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to explore more hidden secrets with you in the next video.